Dragon Ball, One Piece. Two of the most popular battle shonen of all time. They share many similarities, like both being serialized by Jump and both having anime created by Toei Animation. They even have the same sound effects. You want to know what else both series have in common? Their main characters. Son Goku from Dragon Ball and Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. I can go down a list of character traits they both share, but I have something else in store with this video. I will be comparing the traits of Goku's Super Saiyan 4 to Luffy's Gear 4. Back on Dragon Ball GT, we witnessed Goku unlock Super Saiyan 4 for the first time during his fight against Super Baby Vegeta. For One Piece only fans, yes, babies catch fades on Dragon Ball. I'm only half lying about that. Vegeta is a man. The parasite inside of him is a baby named Baby, who is also an adult man by the end of the arc. Y'all can't talk. Don't act like weird shit doesn't happen in One Piece. Anyway, Goku was finally back to his prime adult form after being wished back into a kid by the Black Star Dragon Balls. He's finally transcended the cool but ultimately useless Super Saiyan 3. His appearance was radically different from the prior Super Saiyan forms. Ditching the golden hair, Super Saiyan 4 brought Goku back to his black-haired state, reminiscent of his base form. His arms and body are covered in red fur while he gains a red shadow trim around his eyes and over his eyelids. The design of this form merges aspects together from Goku's base and Uzaru form, creating one of the coolest looking Super Saiyan forms of all time. Now we move on to the One Piece side of things. During the climax of the Dressrosa arc, Luffy was engaged in a final battle against Doflamingo. Luffy is a rubber man due to eating the devil fruit known as the Gum Gum fruit. It sounds limited, especially when you compare Luffy to other rubber characters across fiction. Throughout the series, he's shown vast creativity when utilizing his rubber abilities. Learning Haki, the One Piece universe version of Ki, took his ability to the next level. Still, both his devil fruit powers and Haki wouldn't be enough to stand up to Doflamingo and his awakened devil fruit powers. So, Luffy put that creativity to use, transforming by coating his arms in armament Haki before inflating his hardened body like a balloon, making his muscles bigger instead of becoming round and smooth like a balloon typically would. This is due to his Haki keeping his body in a hardened state. The Haki coating his arms resemble a flame tattoo on his body near the ends of the coating. The area around his eyes darkened along with his eyelids. His actual eyes changed color too, his usual black irises now turning brown. Since he's filled to the brim with air, he has to bounce like a basketball. Doflamingo laughed at the appearance of this form. Later opponents find the appearance to be ridiculous. I was confused. I thought it was one of the coolest looking things ever. I mean, his arms are ginormous. How do they not recognize the threat standing before them? I guess it's because of the bouncing ball thing. That's probably the only funny thing about the form. Doflamingo laughed, but you saw what happened to him after that. It wasn't funny by the time the fight was over. I know we live in a post 5th gear world, but 4th gear is definitely Luffy at his most intimidating. Between the red shading on his Haki, his large size, and his glare, this form just screams the word powerful. Now to compare both Super Saiyan 4 and Gear 4 to one another. Yes, they both have black hair, but that only complements the other similarities. Both Goku and Luffy have the majority of their upper bodies coated. Goku has fur that covers his entire top portion of his body, leaving only his abdomen bare. Luffy's Haki doesn't cover as much as Goku's fur does on his own body. His Haki covers both arms and hands, stopping near the neck and upper half of his torso. He also has his legs coated in Haki as well. Now, if Goku were to drop his drawers right now, would his legs be furry? The answer is yes. We've seen Super Saiyan 4 in a battle damaged state. Legs are indeed covered in fur. While Goku has more covering over his body, both Super Saiyan 4 and Gear 4 leave the user's abdomen bare. Since we're on the topic of body coating, let's talk about the colors. We can clearly see that Super Saiyan 4 is covered in red fur. What about 4th gear? Throughout One Piece, armament haki is almost always colored black. 4th gear is no exception. When Luffy first uses Gear 4 in the manga, his body is coated in black haki. However, once the One Piece anime reaches this point, Toei decided to give Luffy a bit of red shading when using the form. One would say the manga version is the true version. An alteration made by the anime version should not be seen as the true version of said form. That would be the case if Oda himself stuck with the solid black coloring. In later illustration, Oda gives Luffy's armament haki red shading in his 4th gear form. This is a good change. Red is a powerful color, putting more emphasis on what he's about to do to you. Super Saiyan 4 and Gear 4 share a red hue for each of their body coatings.
行くぞ悟空夢のクロス対戦で最強を決めろワンピース大海賊コロシアム
バンダイナムコ
はいルフィ夢のクロス対戦で最強を決めろドラゴンボール Z エクストリーム武闘伝
バンダイナムコ
We gotta talk about the eyes. Yes, both of their eyes change color, but I'm more focused on what's going on around their eyes. Yes, Goku has a red outline around his eyes and eyelid. Luffy has black outlines around his eyes and eyelids. They're different, yes, but there's a connection. The outlines around Goku's eyes are inspired by the actors of Kabuki theater. What I didn't know is that his hair was inspired by Kabuki as well. That would explain the hair spikes resting on his shoulders. So, what about 4th gear Luffy? Luffy is the Kabuki. The music, the facial expressions, his posing. How is he doing all of this before Wano? Anyways, let's go over their similarities once more. Both have red body coating that exposes their abdomen. Both have outlines around their eyes. Both take inspiration from Kabuki theater. Do I need to continue? This is not a conspiracy theory. Gum Gum King Kong Gun. Who's King Kong? A giant ape. What are apes? They're primates. Monkeys are also primates. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a monkey man. I'm comparing a monkey man to a man named Monkey. Both forms end with the number 4. Am I not cooking? I'm not saying Oda copied Dragon Ball. I'm saying there's a chance he took some inspiration for this specific form. There is no official confirmation that 4th gear was inspired by Super Saiyan 4. However, Oda is a Dragon Ball fan. One of the luckiest Dragon Ball fans, considering he knew Toriyama on a personal level. He went to the man's house very often. I think I've provided some pretty convincing evidence to support my claim. Or maybe I'm just yapping.